Okay. My name is Martin Hyde. I've lived in this city for just over 21 years, including first 5 years I lived here at condo on the bay, so to a limited extent I know of what I speak. A little bit dark back here, by the way. If we could put some lights on here for middle-aged people like me. I had to make this font supersized so I could still sit. Anyway, during all that time, I've watched half-truths be used at every turn to vindicate one special interest after another. Once again, we're told that this is an inconsequential, nothing to see here, administrative change to our zoning code. The truth is, as usual, some distance from that. Every time we address our zoning code with any kind of change, we risk the unintended or possibly intended consequence of it being used to further another project elsewhere in the city. One might wonder why, if it's such a good idea, then several of the members of the Bay team found it necessary to make private approaches to some of the new commissioners on this in the last week. This is what I had against the first Selby master plan, in the sense that if it was okay then why not in the rest of our neighbourhoods? The same applies in varying degrees to all zoning changes, however well-intentioned they might be. These particular amendments appear to strike out important protections for our environment throughout our city, while including the prospect of development within Phase 1 of the Bay, which to my recollection was always strenuously denied as being contemplated. The apparent masters of the universe in Sarasota as it relates to urban planning are Kimley Horn, who frequently work for both proposed developers and the city with serious questions of who works for whom and whether conflicts are disclosed. We've got a county commissioner who used to work for Kimley Horn, one of the senior vice presidents of Kimley Horn, or former senior vice president of Kimley Horn, is now the COO of the Bay project. Kimley Horn also did work on the ADA compliance issues for developers like the Art Ovation Hotel, while bidding the opposite side of the work, arguably with the city, exposing the city to liability for damages caused recently to a handicapped resident. My point is that trust is a valuable commodity, which once lost is impossible to regain. Based on the ages-old maxim that self-interest is most people's only interest, I think it'd be fair to discount paid-for opinions on both sides and ask yourself a couple of very simple questions. If the need for the pier at the Bay needs are really sui generis, then make a change that reflects that without rewriting the whole code across the city. If the Bay or Kimley Horn don't like that idea and want something more generalised, you have your answer as to what's really going on. The issue here is allegedly that of the pier, so assuming you want to give them that sole dispensation without giving away the farm in terms of other development within the Bay project or the city generally. If it's also good, and the public will be okay with it, let them bring in one understandable piece at a time and not buried in a 75-page document that is worded in such an obscure fashion that it's a cure for insomnia in itself. The genius of the plan here is that it's so incredibly long-winded that they hope no one will question it. Simply put, if someone has to keep telling you in page after page why it's such a good idea, it probably isn't. Reject it, tell them to come back for approval on the pier alone.